Hello and welcome back to the worst Warmachine channel on the internet. I'm Valorian, and it's time for another Warmachine Battle Report. Now, I'm going to be playing my Infernals. This is the new faction that I've been playing, and I'm trying to get up to speed, but man, I'm having a lot of time trying to just figure out this whole essence and summoning thing. What do you kill first? What do you activate? Man, it can be a real hassle, and so I have not been doing so well, but maybe I'll be doing better here. So this is the main list that I've been kind of playing around with. It is Omodamos, and with this one here, I start with, a good amount of Tormentors, not the 7 that I originally started with here, but I'm trying like this little front line of these Lamenters. I think that they do very well at what they're meant to do, which is trying to get up there, lock things down, raise up defenses, and then the Tormentors can come in after. So, it should be a simple enough list, but, you know me, I stumble it over anyway. Otherwise, I'm going to be playing against Kieren. He's playing Trollbloods, and this is going to be a pretty interesting list here because it's Doomy 3. If you haven't seen Doomshaper3 in a long time, well, that's because his feat can be pretty bad if you're not careful. What the feat does, for those who don't remember, is that for that turn, when your things get hurt, they get healed 3 plus D3 damage right back. So for the most part, that really means they're kind of invincible. It's almost like having the Striker 1 feat, because instead of having plus 5 armor, why don't you heal 5 damage on average? Now, obviously, the biggest difference between those two things is that you can stop it. So if you have anything that stops healing, like Grievous, well, then they can't heal, and so the whole feat stops. However, remember, Grievous Wounds doesn't work on Colossals and Gargantuans, so the Mountain King's okay. The other thing is if you have something like Entropic Force, that would also stop healing, even on the Gargantuan. Now, luckily for me, I have both these things. I have the Grievous Wounds, and then I also have the Entropic Force. So if I could play properly, I think I have a good counter to this list. But, that probably means that I'm not going to play it well. So let's just see how this all goes down. Alright, so looking at the board here, we are playing bunkers, and it's a very interesting terrain setup here with that building. I really feel that building's going to be helping me a lot, and I actually won the first turn to go here, and I was kind of surprised that Kieren wanted to be on that side, because that long building is really just going to get in his way and make it pretty easy for me to probably score that right flag. But then again, I do have that forest that's kind of doing the same thing on the left. However, again, one of the things I like about Lamenters is the fact that they fly. So if my flying Lamenters could just get over there and contest, or maybe the odd Cultist can run over there and contest, I am not really overly worried. Then again, he has his own whelps. He has a lot of whelps in this list. He's taking all the ones that you can take normally, by taking a free rec option. He also has an spare one, and then there's all the ones that might come from the Mountain King as well. So there could be a lot of whelps running away and just kind of like contesting whatever they need. Overall, though, I really don't feel this will be a scenario type game. It might come down to that, and of course, it's always something I kind of plan for, but I really do feel this will be more of an attrition match. If it goes the way that I want it to, basically, he'll try and feat, and then I'll just, run up the Entropic Force, get up there, and then kill the beast with my overwhelming, synergy crabs. However, if it doesn't go that way, yeah, it's going to be a real grind. I'll probably have a real hard time keeping up, and we'll see how that kind of goes. Alright, so my first turn, it is fairly simple. I did change up the way that I am actually summoning things right now. In the past, I might try and do Deviros first or something, or I might try and do the Wretch first, but because the Wretch is going to be so key in this game here, I had to keep it alive. So I actually decided to go and kill off Runewood first. Now, you might be saying, well, that's insane. Why would you kill Runewood? He has Grievous. Well, as long as I have the Entropic Force, I really don't need that. And mean, what else am I going to kill? Am I going to kill my Hermit? No. Am I going to kill Regna? No. Am I going to kill the Wretch? Of course not. So really, even though that Grievous would be good to have, I decided to kill that one first. It's also making me wonder if maybe I need to get some more solos in here so I can have more choice. But that's a conversation for another time. So basically, Runewood runs up. It's going to be turning into a Desolator that you see on the right. Regna is going to be bringing in a Nether Lamenter. So now I got 4 down there. Always love that. And then I also have my Omodamos getting out the synergy. Now, I am kind of holding back, as you can see here, Dozer and Smig. Man, Kieren loves Dozer and Smig, and it does great things for him. And I know it can trample up and shoot, and with Rush, you know, it could get even further. So I'm respecting that. I know what that Dozer and Smig does. I don't really need to be having that extra movement up the board, so I am making sure it's not doing any damage and staying a bit back. But otherwise, yeah, this is how we're looking for the first turn. Alright, so going into his turn then, what's going to be happening here is really just Rush happening all over the place on his side of the board, and then just zooming up. And you can really see again how this building is really changing the way that he has to move up the board. He is really being forced to funnel up through that side. Now again, the forest doesn't affect him that much because that's just where the Mountain King is, and thanks to things like, you know, how basically they have Pathfinder, it can just go through there no problem. Another cute thing that I'm noticing now too is that there is the Barrage team in this list, which seems very out of place. I mean, I know they're actually great. Kieren's been loving them in his regular lists, but why would they be in this list? Well, the reason why they're here is really just to clear out the way, right? There's not a lot of main key models going on here. There's really just the big top 3, and then the Axer there mainly for some more fun, but mainly for Rush. And then the Barrage team can be there to clear out anything in the way. And because they have Arcing Fire, well, they can just shoot over that big old Mountain King and don't even care. So if you're thinking, looking at this, like, oh, why do you have shooters in the back? Well, that's because they're shooting over everything. So this is it now. This is going to be the turn where I really have to make my move. If I wanted to, I could be staying out of range, right? I could just stay back here and say, oh, well, I'm just going to keep on summoning until you dedicate. Well, 1, we talked about how maybe I need more solos. But 2, he's the one with the guns, right? With Dozer and Smig, the Sprayer and the Mountain King, the Barrage team. If I just go and try and stay back here, well, he'll just shoot me and start to score. So I need to dedicate. And now this is where the Lamenters will come in place. So let's see how that looks. So really, the 4 flying Lamenters just fly in, really get in the way, gum things up, and then otherwise, I just run up here with the rest. So this is now Deviros's turn to die. So Deviros goes up. You know, Harmonious's repos up, gets turned into another Tormentor. So, you know, I got a good number of Tormentors. I got my Desolator that moved over to contest the right flag because I'm not in a spot too. Again, because I'm low on solos, I don't have ones that can actually run out there and score these flags because they're too busy dying. It actually makes me think that I should be thinking more about attrition with this list and not even caring about scenario that much unless it's really one based on the rectangles for the battle group. But yeah, so basically the Desolator's over there to contest. It doesn't need to be front and center to spray whatever it wants to try and reduce the armor on. And more importantly, I have the Wretch tucked over in safe. You know, I know Dozer and Smig, they have dual attack, they can shoot over. If I put anything too close, it could try and get it with blast damage. So I'm really trying to make sure that there's no targets over there that it can hit me with blast damage. It's out of line of sight, so I don't need to be worrying about that. Also making sure that Omodamos is safe. It has the locked horns up right now. I have D-Cell up right now. So, okay, you should really be stuck. There's not a lot that the Barrage team can do to clear out Lamenters. The way that he's kind of packed in here, he can't do Mulg until he does one of the other ones. And so really, if the Earth King goes first, it can't really get anywhere. If he goes with Dozer and Smig first, All right, that's okay. And then after, if the Earthborn goes, not the Earthborn, if the Mulg goes, like maybe it can kill enough in order to free up the Mountain King to get to one of my Tormentors and kill it, but I don't care. I'll be in a great spot right then. I can spray things down, debuff them, and at least take off the Gargantuan, and also probably, I'd probably go after the Dozer and Smig, just to make sure that it's not going to be causing me too much damage. So I'm feeling pretty good here. This is exactly what I want. And then on his turn, that all kind of falls apart. So here's the main thing. Right now you're looking at this picture and you're seeing Dozer and Smig on top of the building. Obviously it's not there. It, like a lot of things in Warmachine, it has really big arms and it doesn't really always fit in there the best. Now here's the problem with Dozer and Smig that I forgot. Typically with Kieren, this thing's trampling around, shooting me, doing, dual attack shenanigans. Well, I also just learned here as well that it has Bulldozer. So it did not have line of sight. We did all the laser stuff. I did it correctly. He could not get me in any way. And then it turns out that if he comes over here and shoots, that he can bulldoze and get into a spot where he can get like the smallest of lines onto my Wretch. And so once you know it, bulldozes its way in, takes a shot over, and then, kills my Wretch. So now I don't have my Grievous, I don't have my Wretch. This is a worst case scenario. And of course, because of dual attack, it also makes some attacks against Lamenters. Then he goes over there with Mulg, it makes some damage, and kills off more of the Lamenters so that it frees up the Earthborn. Keep out the Earthborn, the Mountain King. So the Mountain King then comes down, kills off a Tormentor. Okay, great, I'm down with those two. And then just to add insult to injury, the Barrage team, which is kind of bored, starts shooting at my objective, does some pretty good damage on it, but also, kills off my Regna as well. So, yeah, that's really bad. At least, he had killed off the Lamenter that was on Regna first, so those were kind of like wasted attacks, because that would have just disappeared. But yeah, now I'm in a spot where he's feeded and I basically can do nothing. If I wanted to, maybe I could build up synergy and put everything into Dozer and Smig, and maybe, if I did the Ruin and everything like that too, I could take it down. But I would just be spending up all my essence, which would be a real problem. And then after that, things just probably go south. So I don't like the way this is going. I basically just have to try and find some way to delay. I did think that maybe there might have been an assassination here. I looked at how close that Tormentor was to Doomy 3, and it's like, well, okay, if I got him knocked down, then I could be really sure of this. I could really make sure that I could throw things, do something to try and get him knocked down, that type of thing. It just wasn't lining up. There wasn't a good way I could try and make this work, and so I kind of gave up on the idea of the assassination. So really what I'm going to do then is go for a scenario. I'm going to try and do what I can. He's already scored 1 point, and then maybe if I could put some scenario pressure on, he'll give me an opportunity. So that's what I do. I really kind of just throw Dozer back in and stuff like that. Move over with the Cultists to be contesting on the left. I'm able to spray down with the Desolator, the Whelp on the right. Omodamos goes over there to the flag on the right to score it. And then, that's really it. I don't have anything more to do because Omodamos ran. I don't have locked horns up, but who cares? He's probably going to, even with locked horns, he was going to be killing those 2 Tormentors anyway, and then hopefully he can't get to the other 3. And, what else am I supposed to be doing in this situation? All right, so going over to his next turn then, he does a ton of work. So if you look here, the guys that are in the way, the Cultists I ran in the way, basically the Barrage team mainly killed all of that. He also had Dozer and Smig to help out with that clearing as well. And so he killed the 2 Tormentors that are there at the top, then came down here with the Mountain King. Haha, see, I said it right. And then the Mountain King kills off a couple more Tormentors. Now, that means I have another Tormentor, and you can't see it because of the picture, but when it came in here, the big old Mountain King, I countercharged, and I countercharged to be on the top of it. So right now I'm on the other side of this big bulky body, and I kind of thought that, okay, I'll get over there and get closer to his caster. He's gone through most of his activations. There isn't much left, but he's probably going to be spending his attacks first on my Tormentor in the zone because, you know, I did get this scenario pressure on. He's thinking scenario, and that worked. He made sure that that Tormentor died, and then he destroyed my objective. And then, next up, he decided to kill the Tormentor between the Mountain King and between the Omodamos. And I think that's kind of like the idea is trying to like threaten and work his way to me. I'm not sure. Maybe he was just being nice to me, but then he did leave that one Tormentor alive. So now I have an opening to his caster. Now, I do have to be careful about this type of thing here. If I'm going to do anything and I hurt that Mulg, it might move and get in my way. So I'm going to have to be very careful about this. So the way this goes down is that basically I need to get up my synergy. So I need to come over here with Omodamos. It's going to be, you know, popping feet, going in here and attacking the Mountain King just to kind of get up the synergy count. I also have to kill up like one of my own guys because I first, of course, went with the Cultists and they topped everything up. Then I need to go up there and ruin with the actual Hermit. It's going to be then going up to a spot where then the Mulg is kind of like locked down. Then I get to come over here and assault spray. So again, arms and things, I'm the proxy base on the other side of the building, but because I have Ghost Walk, I can go through that and land there. I don't really care about the Mulg that I'm actually charging. I actually, with the spray, want to kind of debuff and try and do a transfer on Doomy. That works out okay. So now already Doomshaper is down like 4 armor, plus after my attack on Mulg, and Mulg, it has to go towards my model, not directly towards, but because I'm basically base to base and I'm now pinning it in there with the Hermit, it has nowhere to go. So synergy is up to 2, and now I can just walk over there with my last Tormentor. I have again my Ghost Walk up, so immune to free strikes, and then snip, 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 able to get through the transfers and kill off the caster for the win. So there you go. You know, even though I bumbled and I tripped and I made lots of mistakes, it turns out, hey, in the end, I was able to make this work. Now, I do have some thoughts, of course, on my list and some learnings from this. You know, one, maybe these Lamenters are not working the way that I thought. Maybe it'll be a lot better if I dropped a couple of Lamenters and put in some Howlers. You know, we're expecting to see more infantry. That would have given me also some more Grievous, which I know will be situational, but it seems like with Locked Horns, 5 Howlers would be better than 2 Lamenters for the same points. Plus, I might want to do something to get in some more solos in here, because I am learning that, man, I am kind of lacking when it comes to the solos, and it is causing me some grief. But either way, it was a great game. It was nice to finally get like another win here, because I think right now I'm like 4 or 5 losses, and this is just my second win, so I need to turn things around here with with my Infernals. But either way, it was a great game. Great to see something new here on the table that I haven't seen in quite a long time, and I do feel that now that the Void Archon's going to probably be going away, that Doomshaper3 might actually have a much better spot in the meta. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye.